Hello, and welcome to our 20-minute training. I am excited to have you all here today. And for those that will be watching the replay, um, to just share more great information and resources with you. So, my name is Aisha Winfield, and I am the president and CEO of AIB Marketing and Consulting. And we really focus on working with passionate professionals and organizations to amplify their vision. And our 20-minute training series is designed to be a very brief uh, sharing of tips, of tricks, of different resources and things to help you to grow your business and to be successful. And so today I am extremely excited to have a friend of mine who is a wonderful professional that every business owner should know. And her name is Monique Eversley. Welcome, Monique.
Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here. Hello, everyone.
Glad to have you. And so we're going to get started. I always enjoy having people that I've worked with and that I know. But in order to keep things consistent, I am going to read your bio. So I'm telling you now that I'm going to read it to make sure I don't skip anything or miss anything. And so Monique is a business event strategist and the CEO and founder of YHD Enterprises, an event consulting agency. She provides event strategies, tools, and resources to dynamic women in business who are ready to get known within their industry. She helps them leverage the power of events so that they can empower, inspire, and elevate their brand. And that's what we're talking about today, getting that visibility and letting people know who you are through events. And so, welcome, Monique. I'm not going to take up too much time. I want you to take it away and give people the information.
All right. So thank you, Aisha. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here and you asking me to be a part of this training. So I'm just going to get right into it. So no matter, let me just start by saying, no matter what phase of business that you're in, be it you're thinking about an event, you're in the starter phase, you're in the growth phase, you must always think about ways to implement to increase your value and visibility. So during this training, I'm going to share ways to do this along with how I've implemented that for myself. So hopefully that'll give you guys some ideas and things like that. When I spoke with Aisha last week, she wanted me to share some stories. So I'm going to do that and hopefully that'll inspire you. So I'm going to start with one of the ways that you can build your value, increase your value and your visibility is by stepping out of your comfort zone, right? So I'm going to give a backstory. So in 2012, I was asked to be an event coordinator for a hair show. My friend and my friend Selena, who we met in grad school. She got inspired by going to a hair show and I think in DC, and she came back and asked me because she knew that I did events to be a part of it, to be her event coordinator. And I told her I made the decision to step out of my comfort zone because as event planners, we're always in the back, right? We get things done. But what I decided, I told her, shifted my mindset and said, listen, I don't want to work for you. I want to work with you, right? And I want to partner with you on this project because it's something that I actually was thinking about myself. But sometimes you have those limiting beliefs that no one's going to really want it, or I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, or, just things like that. Even though I'm an event professional, I still had those limiting beliefs about doing my own thing. But when Selena approached me, I took it as a sign that was something that I needed to move forward with. So I told her, listen, I want to work with you. And honestly, guys, that was the best decision that I've ever made. By stepping out of my zone and letting Selena know I want to work with her, it was the best decision. So from there, it helped me to build my confidence. And when I thought about it, Selena approached me because she saw the value in me as an event professional to help her to execute this great event. And I saw it as an opportunity because I knew it was going to be a great event. So we put together the Philadelphia Natural Hair Show, right? So we're co-founders of that. But I knew that it was just going to be awesome, right? So it helped me, and being a part of this hair show helped me to just build my confidence, spread my wings. It helped me to build and establish great relationships in the natural hair industry as well as the event industry. It helped me to highlight my expertise as an event professional, right? And it made me shift direction actually on how I wanted to move forward in my business. And I realized that I wanted to create community and business only events as opposed to social events and things like that. So all of that helped me to transition into where I am now in my business. So I wanted you to, that was just an example of stepping out of your comfort zone and just really trusting yourself, trusting that you have value in your business. Like some people want to hear what you have to say. You have to just trust and step out step out of your comfort zone, right? So that's an example of what I did to help me. And it's just, like I said, it was the best decision. So it's more of just trusting and believing in yourself. And sometimes it can be a little scary, but but push through that fear. And I promise you, it always works out in the end, right? Another way that you can build your value and your visibility is by honoring the value of your voice through events. And why, personally, I like to share with people why events work. It helps you elevate your brand. It's a strategic tool and a strategic marketing tool in business for your business. It can highlight you as the expert. It allows you to build relationships. It allows you to build community, right? And there are 5 types of events that can help you to elevate your brand. And I would love for you guys to put in the chat to let me know which one resonates with you. So you have workshops are great for helping to build your value of your voice. You can create a workshop and for your expertise. And retreats are always a great type of event for your business. It can create bonding. It can create a bonding atmosphere. It's usually small and intimate, right? And it'll allow you to really have a great connection with your attendees. Live streams, like Facebook, IG Live, and things like that. I created a web series last year. I did every Saturday for the month, I think, of April. I did a web series and talked about how events can work for your business. And as I was doing it, I didn't have that many people in the beginning, but I started to build. People started to expect me to continue to do that. And then, people were coming there on Saturdays, and it was engaging and things like that. So that's a great way to highlight your value, and talk about things that you talk about your expertise within your industry, right? Webinars are great. It's a great way to connect, and usually it's just one person talking, yourself talking, or you can be multiple people. You can have a multiple panel talking, but it's usually just talking to the attendees. There's not that much engagement, but it's a great tool because then you all typically have something to sell at the end. You may have a program, or you may have a book, or whatever it may be. And the next event that I think is great for events to help elevate your brand is product launches, right? If you have products that you want to highlight and share, even services, that you want to promote and things like that, that's always a great way. And I truly believe that creating your own stage is a great way to build your brand, and it can also allow people to get to know you, right? And seek you out as the expert, right? So once you start creating your stage, then people start to come to you, and then you can start going to other stages. And I've learned that, and I've done that, and I teach my clients that as well. So another example, Quanisha Green of Black Woman CEO, I've worked with her on numerous events, and the first event that I helped her with, her first in-person event, she garnered 5 figures in sales for her signature program, and it was an intimate event. And that's another thing. When you do events, it doesn't have to be a huge conference or things like that. Some people get intimidated by putting on events, but it can be. You can have intimate events. I call them boutique events, right? But you can have small events and still create the impact that you need to build your brand, build your value to people. And from there, Quanisha asked me to be her event advisor for her business, for her company, as well as asked me to join her team and work with her Black Women CEO membership as a consultant, or as well as a coach, accountability coach, and things like that. But she saw the value that I was able to provide her, and she wanted me to share that with her membership, right? And this is not about me bragging or anything of that, but it's more about how, by shifting my mindset and honoring the value of my voice, right, it open doors and build opportunities, right? The next way you can build your value in your brand is creating a strategic plan, right? So every year I would think about what I needed to do to build my value and visibility. And as a result, I came up with a method I call ACE, right? Activate, collaborate, and then elevate. So under the activate, what I did was I created my own stage. I started doing workshops in the libraries. I went to the libraries, and because you can do workshops in the library for free. So I would talk with it about how events were, how events are perfect for your business, how events can help you boost your holiday sales and things like that. And then I also made sure that I thought about who do I want to network with. I put a list of people that I wanted to connect with, and reached out to them, or went to events that I knew they would be at and tried to connect with them that way. Also, just talking with people about what I did, and how I can help you. So the questions you ask are, you think about who you are, what do you do, and how do you do it? And then you work on putting that together. And when you're in a networking environment, you share that with others so they know exactly what you do and how you can help them, right? Because people want to know how you can help them, bottom line, right? So the next thing I did was join associations and things like that, and went into leadership, and volunteer. And volunteering is always a great way when you're in these types of organizations within your industry, because it allow people to see your expertise and help you build the value that you can bring, right? Collaborate. I made a list of women who I wanted to work with, business besties, women on the same level as myself, women I admired, and I connected, tried to reach out to them. And, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But the point is that I moved forward and tried to execute that, right? And in some ways that I was able to speak on stages because I did worked on this method. And then elevate, the last part was, using those first two elements of activate and collaborate, and it built my confidence, and recognizing that I recognized that people really wanted to hear what I had to say, and that I had value. And it just continued to keep growing my mind. I just kept continue growing my mindset and trusting that people wanted to hear what I had to say, and I got it. I got this, right? And I secured new clients, and worked with old clients, reestablished relationships with old clients, and also established a new service that people wanted. So time flies. It's already 4:15.
I know, it's so
So
scary that
I
you
just quickly
can yes.
wanted to end by saying, just reminding people that you are the answer. You have to trust yourself to know that you have the solution. There is clients for everybody, and you have to trust that you can reach them and meet them. But they have to know who you are. So you have to get out there and do these different things that I was just talking about, and what I did, and some examples to get out there so they know who you are. And finally, the last thing I want to say was I always end my presentations with my mantra quote, right? And it says, God didn't add another day in your life because you needed it. He added it because someone needs you. And that's something that I live by. So I always like to end that with that particular quote. Okay,
Yes.
I'm done.
You said a
Thank you.
whole lot of wonderful things. You put some of the
That
information
was
in the
so
chat. And that's the reason that we record and make sure to send people the replay so that they can listen to it, let it marinate. You think about which events you think will work best for elevating your brand and visibility. And thank you, Monique, for sharing, because I think it helps to hear people's personal experiences and how they've
good.
been able to utilize events. And so you've been able to do that really, really well. And I love business besties. I wrote that one down. I definitely appreciate that, and knowing that working with other people that are like-minded or that are doing things, similar is a good thing in business. I know that you
Right.
hear different stories about, competition, but collaboration and really being able to work together is the key. And
Yeah,
so
I totally agree. And I've never had that issue. I've worked with women most of the time I've been doing my business, and it's never been that way. It's always been, we've always been helping each other out and just helping each other elevate and grow
yes.
and build. And, if you have something you can't do it, you pass it on, to someone else and help them grow their business or whatever, that kind of thing. So I totally agree. I never had that situation. So anyway.
Absolutely. That's a good thing. And we want to keep that energy going with other people that have businesses, just being able to learn from one another and help one another. And so before we go into the Q&A, I do want to have you share, I know you had a link that we put into the chat for people
Oh,
to be able to access you. And so Vicky just put that link into the chat for you, but if you can tell us what that is.
yes. Oh, I'm gonna be
There
like
you
this.
go. There you go. I love those backgrounds.
So I have an ebook called 5 Core Steps to a Stress-Free Business Event. And basically this ebook is a free download, and it's to just give you just the foundational steps that I do to create my event plan, because you have to have a plan for your events, right? So if you're thinking about doing any type of event, these 5 core steps are the foundational steps. And then you have more, obviously events are, is very, what's the word? It's a lot going on and a lot of moving parts, let me say. But these are the 5 core steps that you need to start to create your event. And then we can talk about it if you like to talk about it. I'll be more than willing to help you and have a strategy call regarding your event. And that information is on my website at yhdenterprises.com. And you under the work with YHD tab, you can definitely get that. And then I think Vicky put in the link, the web page to go and to get the book. So the ebook.
Fantastic. All right, so you did that in perfect timing. I appreciate it. And I know we
I
have
was
a
looking at
couple
the
of
clock in my
people.
side eye. I was like,
Yes, yes. So I saw in the note in the chat when I asked about what event resonates with you. We did have one guest that put book launch. And so do you have, and anybody that has questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're not using the Q&A feature today. We are using the chat feature. So any questions that you have about what Monique mentioned about starting your event, about if you have an event idea and you want to get some feedback. I know now is an interesting time with in-person, virtual, hybrid. So any questions that you have, put them in the chat. But Monique, do you have any specific suggestions or thought when it comes to a book launch as a way to build visibility? Book
well,
signing, so to speak.
so
Okay.
for a book launch, one of the ways you can promote, I mean, now it's starting to loosen up a little bit with in-person events, but you can create you can do a snippet of like you can go live, for example. You can go on IG or Facebook, whichever your preference of social media platform is. You can go on there and read a snippet of your book, right? And then after that, talk about, maybe talk about some ideas about what made you get started with writing a book, or do that beforehand and then go into the chapter, reading some of your, doing an excerpt of your book. That's also always a great way just to build engagement. If you already have a mailing list, you can let them know that you're going to read a chapter, or you can send them a chapter of your book, or an excerpt of it, however you want to. Some people are not comfortable doing a full chapter, so you can figure out how, you know, talk with your publisher, if you have a publisher. If you're doing it self-publishing, then you can, just think about where you may want to cut it, like doing a summary or things like that. And that's just one thing. There's a lot more. You can maybe go to check out I was going to say a bookstore, but they are few and far between now, unfortunately.
They are, but if you're here in Philly, we got Harriet's
We do
bookstore.
have
We've
some,
got
right? If
Uncle
you're in Philly,
Bobby.
we do have some good ones. What's his name? Something
Uncle
Hill.
Bobby.
Yeah, he has a great bookstore down in North Philly, I think.
Yeah.
And also the lady, I forgot her name,
Harriet's.
Harriet's, yes, that's a great bookstore. And to reach out to them. And you have to step out too. They're not going to come to you. They don't know who you are, right? So you have to step out. And that's why I was saying, try to do some of the social media, so you can even send them a link to, a little bit about your book, because you're talking about the book and things like that. So that's another way, just so they can get an idea of what your book is about. But you can actually go there and introduce yourself. You never know, and that's the point. You never know. But if you sit there and do nothing, then nothing's gonna happen. At least you're trying to. You know what I mean? So, and then talk about maybe doing the book signing there, and then maybe they have some ideas to help you promote it. Because they're also experts in that as well, right? So they may have some, because they have a vast network as well. And I know that Harriet, she's on Facebook. She does her they do a lot of different things on Facebook, where they're doing different types of events that she's posted, that maybe you can find out if there's a way to introduce your book as a new up and coming author, or whatever it may be. Right. But you can also create your own stage and do that as well.
Absolutely.
Right? And start doing, you can, if you want, you can start reading a chapter, maybe not a full chapter. I don't, depending on how you feel, but doing something every week regarding your book. Right. Talking about how, like I said, talking about how you made, what made you decide to give any examples of experiences that made you put this book together, or things like that, creating a story around it and building that buzz that way. And you never know. And
And
that's
you're right, word
my
of
thing.
mouth. That's what I see in the chat. Word of mouth is such a powerful tool.
It is. I
And that
always
is
say that.
absolutely the most powerful. Yeah.
Word of mouth is still the best marketing tool that you can have. I mean, hairdressers, for example, they don't you don't see a hairdresser advertising. But they all, they still get clients, and that's about from word of mouth.
Their work speaks for them.
Yes, and stuff like that. You really don't see that. So I hope that helped you a little bit.
And that actually, just a really quick point, because you mentioned hairdressers, and I remember working in music. Whenever we promoted music, we wouldn't necessarily go to record stores. We would do some of that, but we would also make sure that we were in lifestyle accounts. So we were in hair salons.
Yeah, you put those cards on the table, on the counter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I used to do it too. I used to work in music too, and we had to do the grassroots marketing and guerrilla marketing and doing all of that.
So that really still is effective, and especially in this day with virtual, you can utilize the combination of both of that, virtual and in person, in some other non-traditional spaces. So our goal, like we said, is building your value and visibility. So we want people to be able to see you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stress it again. No one's gonna know what you do unless you say it and tell them, right? Yeah. So it's up to you to think about. Sometimes you got to think outside the box, right? But it's about execution and doing it. Sometimes it may not work, sometimes it will, but the point is that you're doing it, and then you can just take that off your list. Okay, all right, maybe that didn't work. Or sometimes people quit too quickly. And you may need some time to keep doing it over. Like if you're doing a web series, like for example, what I talked about with the book, there may not be someone there. You may not have people there when you talk about it the first time, but as you build and you share on your social medias that, I'm going to be talking about this at this time every week for the next 2 months, people will start to show up. Trust me, they will.
And it's so interesting because I know, we've got one person here that I know is an author who's going to be releasing a book soon. So we'll be able
Let's
to
do
see
it.
Carla and her book, and then Zoe and her art. And I think when you talk about building your visibility through events, I do know that I've known Zoe for a long time and knew she was an artist, but it really did elevate my understanding of her art to see her art show. And I
Right.
know, I mean, we both know, Monique and I have been doing events for a while, so we know how much it takes and
Yeah.
all of the things that have to happen, but it really is beneficial to your business, your brand, and your long-term success to be able to invest that time and energy
Yeah.
into those events.
When you said that, sorry, Aisha, when you said that, I just thought about, depending on what kind of book it is, Carla, you can look at artists and see how you can collaborate with artists about
Mm,
with your book. Like, you can do a book launch and have an artist do a drawing of maybe give a rendition of one of the main characters, let me just say, something like that, or, what I mean, things like that. But I want you to think outside the box, you know what I'm saying?
add that
Um,
element of excitement or that element
yeah,
of creativity to make it,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely you can do that, and,
Hmm.
put a press release together, create your own press release and put it out there, put it
Yes,
on your page,
yes.
talk about your book, send it to the news. You never know, because they're always looking for feel good stories.
Yes.
So you never know. It's the point. What I'm trying to make is that you got to try and get out there. No one's gonna know unless you do.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And she's going to do it because she's been at, I think consistently, Hazel and Carla have been at all the 20-minute training. So they've got all the good stuff about social media, about events, about how to bring it.
Bring
So we
it.
are cheering you on because, as Monique said, it is definitely about making sure that I put it in the chat so that I wouldn't forget that you activate, collaborate, and
And
elevate.
elevate.
We
Yes.
are here for your
You gotta
success.
ace it. Come on now.
Yes,
You gotta
yes.
ace it.
So thank you, Monique. I told you it would
Thank
be
you. It's
quick.
gonna,
I
girl,
told
that went fast. That went fast.
it did. And we'll make sure to get the recording out to everybody so that you can take these nuggets and utilize them in your ventures. And we are committed to your success. And so you can
Yes,
feel free, make
definitely.
sure that you're on our website, get the newsletter, get the information to be able to help you and to share with us the things that you're creating, doing, and being able to actualize as a result of these trainings. So I
Remember,
thank you, everybody.
you
Yes,
are the answer, people.
you are the answer.